Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Time Traveler's Handbook. In this episode, we are going to be talking about the Map of Tiny Perfect Things. Spoilers ahead. In the Map of Tiny Perfect Things, Mark is very good at sticking to a strict routine while in the loop, to the point where he can predict everything that's going to happen to the second that it happens. Margaret, however, is not very good at sticking to a routine throughout the day until she gets to the end of the day, in which she always goes to visit her mom. I wanted to talk a little bit more about routines in time loops and why they can be good and why I think that they are a bad thing to do. Let's talk about the pros of routines first. Because Mark keeps a routine, Mark knows exactly what's going to happen in the day and how to avoid all of the undesirable situations. Every morning, he knows exactly what his family is going to do and how to avoid things like the cup falling off the table and breaking and other uncomfortable situations. There are a lot of other things that he does consistently, but you get the gist. He's able to make it the perfect kind of day. So by having a routine, you're taking advantage of the deterministic nature of the day. It means that nothing unexpected ever happens. If you change up your routine and do something different, it's going to affect the rest of the day. So if you want a certain event to happen, most times you're just going to need to do the exact same thing every single day that you did previously. And that's how you can kind of manipulate the world around you and take the most advantage out of the time loop. Now, the disadvantage of a routine is primarily one of the lack of variety in your life and the lack of progress towards breaking out of the loop. It's common to think that our normal everyday days consist of the same routines every day, but we do have the advantage of knowing that the next day has the possibility of something else that might happen even if we follow our routine to the letter. In a time loop, routines mean that everything will happen in the same way every single time, meaning that the space for possible things can be extremely limiting. For a while, that can be fine, but on the scale of infinity, that can get boring really, really quickly and trap you in a never-ending cycle of torment where nothing is interesting to you at all. This is a phenomenon that happens because the number of experiences that you can have in a time loop are limited, especially when you're on your own and everything happens the same way every day. So they're solely limited by the different choices that you make during the day, and that's how it can turn into something that is tormenting rather than liberating. I think this contributes to how Mark and Margaret don't really meet each other for a long time during the loop. Mark was doing his own routine and it never really coincided with Margaret's routine, and the only reason that they met was that Margaret did something that Mark had never seen before and broke her own routine. In a universe like this, where the key is to break out of the loop together, it is vital that this happens eventually, or else they would have never found a way out of the loop together. Maybe there's not a real conclusion on whether or not routines are good or bad in time loops. But personally, I think that someone should keep varying what they do in case something that they do does break them out of the loop. Doing the same exact thing every single day doesn't change a single thing and doesn't progress you towards escaping at all. So at least a little variety in their lives is probably going to go a long way. However, in Mark's case, he doesn't really want to escape the loop all that much, and this day, he doesn't mind repeating forever. And so maybe that is the right approach to living in a time loop. If you want to stay in, have a routine, and that's how you're going to live the rest of your life, forever and ever. That concludes our talk about the Map of Tiny Perfect Things. I really enjoyed exploring this movie and finding things that on first watch, I didn't really think about too much, and my overall impressions of the film were it was good, but it wasn't like the most impactful movie that I've seen that's about time travel. But analyzing these films and diving deeper into the themes and the mechanics that it uses makes me appreciate it a lot more, and that's exactly why I'm making this channel and why I love what I do. Next time, we're going to continue on to more Doctor Who. We're going to have an entire block just talking about the 11th Doctor and all of the interesting episodes from seasons 5, 6, and 7 that he is a part of. As always, thank you for listening.